All of the false ribs are in, and I'm ready to glue them in. So the false ribs are all glued in. The lower stiffener is glued in. And now we're ready to put on the all the blocks that the hinges screw onto, and reinforcement blocks that go at each hinge position on both sides here and on the back side of the spar. And those are 3/8 of an inch squares. Now I cut these a little bit short and put a 45 on them because I'm going to have the geodetic coming up next to them, up underneath this part right here. The print shows the geodetic coming up on top, but you can't do that. Now even this geodetic down here, this has to be built up all the way across from here to here. So put another spacer like right there, and then get a solid piece that goes, or a full piece of geodetic that goes all the way across, and that's what you'll need to do once we separate the two pieces. And but as far as this geodetic, it's got to come up at an angle like this, so that 45's just to give it a little room to go in. And that means I'm moving my hinge an inch, maybe a little more than an inch from the edge, whereas they show it right at the edge. So now it's not perfectly square. In other words, there's the tiniest little bit of rock in it. So I'm going to go ahead and just run it on the belt sander for a second right here and get that so it sits perfectly flat against both the spar cap and the spar web. Now here, where the aileron horn attaches, we're going to put a hinge across that. So the hinge will go from right here all the way over to here. So we'll have to cut this piece, cut this in about a third, right about there. So now I can go ahead and glue these up there on this side and on this side of the spar, but I cannot do it at the aileron horn attachment point because I don't have a horn, and really the horn gets glued in here right along with everything else. It's in other words, this piece gets butted up against the horn on this side right here, so that right there's where the horn would go, and this gets shoved up against it. And this one here, I've got a stiffener that I put up in on this too, but I really have to have the horn. That's the main thing I have to have. So tomorrow I'll go ahead and trace the horn and bring it to work with me tomorrow and cut a piece out of some 6061 scrap we have, which we have plenty of 61 1/8 inch at work. Well, I've got everything prepped, so I'm going to start with this here top stiffener. The bottom stiffener's already in, so start with this top stiffener, and then just go right down to the blocking for the hinges and hinge bolts. So, oh, that looks like it's rocking. Okay, right there. Must be something right there. Well, I was going to put these ones on too, but trying to make sure the back piece stays on while I slip this one up under these clamps, that'd be a little difficult, so I'll go ahead and wait till I get my horn made so I can do all of this area all at once. I got the back side glued on in all three positions, out there, there, and here. We got this here stiffener put on, and I was about to go to the front and start gluing on nose caps and or leading edge spars, really called nose caps. Anyway, I was going to start gluing them on, but really I want to make sure they're positioned based on my my plywood, how long my plywood is. Well, actually, now that I think of it, I've got 4 foot, so I could do 3 feet of nose ribs, or just shy of 3 feet, and then this one here, wait till I'm starting to glue it up, then put that one on, whether it's on this side, or maybe even shy of it, who knows. We'll see. And here's a little secret. Well, probably not a secret, but I have never built a leading edge. Never. I have always cut them off. I've always cut them off of my old wings. The leading edge has always survived, or at least was repairable, and there's so much work. This one here is now a chandelier. Should have plugged it in. But I just cut the leading edge off of it. And so this is my 5th wing, and I've never built a leading edge.